Welcome to Optimal Health and Vitality After 50. My name is Trisha O'Hara. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. So first off, I want to say happy holidays to everyone. I hope you're enjoying your holidays and looking forward to 2024. So today I would like to talk about daily habits to better health in 2024. So as the New Year is right around the corner, the first thing people think about are New Year's resolutions. What are the New Year's resolutions going to be? Not everyone makes them. I don't make them, but a large portion of people make them. But did you know, well, a couple things. The top 5 New Year's resolutions are health related, with those being to lose weight, to eat better, to start exercising, to stop smoking, and to drink less. And did you know, I mean, they've done many studies on this, at least in the US, that only 8 to 9% of Americans by the end of the year have actually succeeded in meeting their New Year's resolution. And also in this study, it showed that after 1 week, already 23% of people had failed. And by the end of January, that number increased to 45%. So why is this? I think, in today's society, it's instant gratification. We want everything quickly. So if we don't, see results quickly, then we give up, right? Unless you're David Goggins. But so I think the problem is that people make goals that are just too big. And so what I would suggest is to make your health goals more realistic, like small incremental changes are more likely that you're going to succeed at following through than trying to do this huge monumental goal, at least to begin with. Like for instance, with one of my clients, I always ask, okay, what do you want to achieve by the end, this month? And one of my clients said she wanted to start to go to bed by 10:30. She was currently going to bed at 10:30. She wanted to start going to bed by 10. And, that was realistic. I mean, it wasn't like she was going to bed at 2 a.m. and wanted to go to bed at 10. And so by the end of the month, she actually succeeded. I mean, there were a few nights where she had business dinners, but for the most part, she actually succeeded. Why? Because it was, it's just a small incremental change and it wasn't a huge drastic change and she was able to meet that. So if you're thinking about making some goals, health goals for next year, try to write down goals that are obtainable. And that's another second thing is to actually write down your goals, because they've done many studies on this as well. And they found that people that actually wrote down their goals and visually saw the goals were 50 to 60% more likely to follow through than if it was just some thought in your head. So if you can, try to write down, what it is you want to accomplish, whether that's daily, monthly, weekly. But your chances of succeeding will greatly increase if you do that. Like for me personally, every night I write down what I want to accomplish the next day. So the next morning I can, get up and I can read, and, more often than not, I accomplish what's on the list. So anyway, try to write things down, and the likelihood of you achieving them is pretty close to 100%. Okay, next is to start incorporating some sort of exercise. So if you're currently not doing any kind of exercise, I would suggest start trying to do some kind of exercise. And that can be something as simple as walking. Maybe you could start walking, 3 times a week for 30 minutes. Exercise not only helps us to manage weight, but it also greatly reduces the risk of disease. And they've actually done many studies on people that exercise actually increase their lifespan. So as we're, looking at wanting to live longer and live healthy, incorporating exercise into our daily or weekly routine will greatly benefit our health. Also there's many benefits to exercise. It gives you more energy, helps with, reduce stress levels. And it's also great for bone density and to maintain or put on muscle mass, which is imperative as we get older, because one of the leading causes of death for people over 65 is actually from falling. And it's injuries they sustain, because their bodies are frail, they don't have the muscle mass. It's injuries they sustain that are life-threatening. So try to think of incorporating some sort of movement, some kind of exercise in this coming year. All right, next is to focus on eating a healthier diet. So eating you've heard the term, we are what we eat. So if you want to think about being healthy and having better health in 2024, you want to think of eating a diet that is rich in vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, healthy fats. This will not only boost our immune system, but it will also help reduce the risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and some cancers. So when you're thinking of, your dietary plan every day, try to think of foods in their natural state, organic if you can get that, otherwise foods in their natural state over processed foods, and your body will greatly thank you. And they also suggest that try to eat dinner 3 to 4 hours before you go to sleep. That way your food is digested, so that your body can spend the energy on cleansing, repairing, and regenerating your muscles, cells, tissues. So, okay. Next tip is to incorporate some sort of hobby or activities outside of your work if you're still working. They've done studies on this, and they found that people that picked up hobbies and activities actually had a greater sense of purpose, especially they found that in the blue zones. People that are centenarians that live to over 100. So it gave people a greater sense of purpose, and also brought much happiness and joy to them. So if you can start doing some kind of, think of something you enjoy doing. Like for me, for instance, one of my hobbies is this YouTube channel. Like, this isn't my job. I don't get paid for this, but it gives me pleasure to be able to share with you, share with the world what I've learned, of working in the fitness industry for over 30 years, for me personally as an elite athlete, and what, I found, working with clients for over 30 years. And hopefully you'll take away some, helpful information. I'm almost 60. Most people I get to think I'm about 20 years younger. So I think I must be doing something right. But anyway, and I also I like to always learn. And so I'm learning 2 languages, French and Russian. And Russian, I just puts my brain into overload, but it's good, so I can speak 3 languages. And I also volunteer. When there's an opportunity to volunteer, I like to volunteer. And I got to tell you, helping those in need is, I think I get more of a reward from doing that than the person receiving. But anyway, so if you can think of, doing some sort of activities, that will bring you a greater sense of joy and peace also. In fact, psychologists have found a positive correlation between hobbies and happiness. People who made time for their hobbies live longer, have decreased risk of certain diseases, and achieve happier lives overall. So again, as we're wanting to better our health in 2024, think of doing some kind of activities, whether that be something solo or with people, and that will give you a greater sense of joy and happiness. All right. Next is to drink more water. Water is vital to our health. It plays a key role in many of our body functions, including bringing nutrients to cells, getting rid of waste, protecting joints and organs, and maintaining body temperature, and much more, as you see in the diagram above. As we are made up of 60 to 70% water, water is vital for our health and well-being overall. Water increases not only increases our energy, but it also decreases tension in the body. And our brain is made up of mostly water. So if your body is hydrated, you will have more concentration and focus throughout the day to get things done. Also, did you know that by the time you're thirsty, your body is already dehydrated? So if you can, if your job, you're sitting at a desk, try to have a water bottle on hand, or if you commute or, are traveling a lot in a car, try to have a water bottle there so that you have access to water all day long. Now, they basically say to drink half your body weight in fluid ounces. So for example, if you're 100 pounds, to try to drink 50 ounces. Now that's just baseline, that's, just to exist. So if you're doing exercise on top of that, you would want to increase that. And also during summer months where you're sweating more, you want to increase that number as well. And you want to make sure you get the electrolytes in also. So for me, I'm 5'7". I don't really weigh myself. I think I'm about 107. So I generally drink about 2 liters of water a day. During the summer, I drink about 3 liters because I'm generally training for a marathon and I'm, training a lot more. So, and what I found, like, I never have dips in the day. I mean, I eat very healthy and drink a lot of water. So I never have the highs and lows during the day. I don't really drink coffee because I'm already naturally hyper. And the next suggestion that I'm going to talk about, I think, is the number one reason why I don't have those dips. And that is, I want to say one more thing about water. For those of you who count calories, did you know, well, they've done many studies, but the studies that I listened to, that I read about, was that you actually burn 25 calories. In the study, they had the participants drink 16 ounces of water. And every time they drank 16 ounces of water, they actually burned 25 calories. And the reason for this is that water just makes everything work better, right? Because again, we're made up of 60 to 70% water. So if our body is hydrated, everything is going to work a lot better, like putting premium gas in a Ferrari. So if you can think about drinking 16 ounces 8 times a day, then that is additional 200 calories. So it's a win-win situation. And next one I'm going to talk about that I think sets you up for actually having an amazing, productive day is, and I say this again in all my videos, is to prioritize sleep. Like, sleep is a non-negotiable for me. And they've actually done studies. In some studies, they actually say that sleep is more important than diet and exercise, which kind of makes sense because it is actually during sleep when the body repairs, when it shuts down, the brain cleanses itself. It's called, with the lymphatic system, your muscles repair, regenerate. Did you know, actually, if you're a person that's interested about maintaining muscle or gaining muscle, that does not happen when you're in the gym or you're out running. That's a stimulus, but muscle growth actually happens when you sleep. Muscle growth, muscle regeneration, repair happens when you sleep. And that is in the non-REM sleep, known as deep sleep. And I did a video on that, and I can link that at the end. But the the important hours were between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. That's when you have the largest secretion of HGH, human growth hormone. So it's actually during sleep when your muscles are made, repaired, regenerated. And also for sleep, in the REM sleep, you actually need sleep for processing and remembering things. And that's actually, again, done in the REM sleep, is when memory consolidation happens and you process things. So that's when, also why a lot of times you have vivid dreams. But anyway, so those are some tips to better health in 2024. If you can start thinking about, incorporating those, or one of them or all of them, it will, just at least from my personal experience, I never run out of energy. And, my Garmin's, I wake up, my Garmin usually says, and my Oura Ring says my body battery in the morning is somewhere around 95, 96%. By the end of the day, that number drops to about 20. So I'm definitely burning it all day long, but I never am at need for energy, because I'm always, practicing what I preach, everything that I'm just telling you right now. So I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Please comment below, because I want to know if this is something of interest to you. This is a channel that I'm making for you. And I want you to go out and live, not only a lifespan, but a healthy lifespan. And so I hope you enjoyed this content. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this. If you do like this, please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And go out. Happy New Year. And I will see you on the next video. Bye.